Hey guys, back. We're in video 3. Towards the end of video 2. Video 2, we talked about what was done to them, so we know the cause. Video 1, we talked about the importance of parents
Heartbreak
protecting
Hotline.
themselves,
When
because it's
parents
very
need
important that they
protection.
get to live their lives too.
EP3.
You hear that, children? We get to live our life too. This last video, we're going to actually talk about the background of basically what they're saying in this article here. You know how people always compiles everything together, so we'll look at what they had to say about this, okay? Because they're spitting out stuff. So, as we already stated, he was arrested and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in connection with the death of his parents. Let's look at what entitled means. This one first. Entitlement is the intolerance of uncomfortable feelings. This is a good example when you're dealing with children. And it said, kids who appear entitled act as if they shouldn't have to experience things like frustration or disappointment. Okay, meaning when you tell entitled, believing oneself to be inherently deserving of privileges or special treatment. You know, i.e. the kids of famous celebrities or things like that feel like we should treat them a certain way because of who they are. And finally, we have an example. Entitlement. Someone who thinks something is owed to them by life in general or because they are who they are. Example, I have a friend who would never work on her birthday and throw hissy fits when things didn't go her way. What a brat. Had a huge sense of entitlement. Okay, so these are people who think that they should get something based on, not earn it, but get something based on. Those people get on my damn nerves. I'm just telling you the truth. Like, now, that's just me. They get on my damn nerves. I ain't gonna lie, they do. But anyway, so let's go back to where we are here. We know now what Nick felt or how he perceives things, according to this article. And exclusive means someone close to them is talking, okay? Nick Reiner, who dealt with addiction since he was a teen, is now charged with unaliving his parents, was entitled, according to a close source of the family, okay? First of all, how dare he allow addiction to get the better of him? I don't care who say what. I'm going to say it again. In case you don't know, I am a woman of color. You see I paused? I need y'all to be good to make sure y'all actually see who talking to y'all. Nothing in this world was given to me for free. Now, I will say that when my father passed, I was taken care of, meaning that his retirement funds I received. So yes, I did receive that. However, it didn't stop me from having the hardships of life, because just because my daddy made sure I was taken care of don't mean the person that the money was left to knew what to do with it. Okay? So I'm just going to leave that there. He wanted a life that didn't exist. He was entitled, meaning he thought he didn't have to work. He didn't want to do any work but expected to be loved the way the rest of his family was, meaning he wanted to be loved by association. Guilty by association? Sounds familiar? That's when somebody feel like they can stand by somebody popular or famous and get the same clout just because they bow them. Nah, you gotta work for things in this world, okay? Okay? On Sunday, December 14th, beloved sitcom actor turned director Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle were found unalive inside their Los Angeles home. Family up here because y'all can look at all their kids, see all the different personalities, and you can see the one sore spot. But they was loving on him though. Okay. Nick, 32, was arrested later that night and has since been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in connection with their unaliving. Nick appeared in court on December 17th, today, and his lawyer, Alan Jackson, declined to enter a plea for his client. His arraignment will continue on December 17th. He was in shackles and handcuffs, and he had to protect himself because he's on suicide watch, okay? Rob and Michelle were 78 and 70. Now they got 2 years on them, okay? At the time of their unaliving, felt enormous guilt for so long that they couldn't help Nick get his life together. And this is the problem. they should not have been feeling guilty. But I understand they're not here now. But I'm saying this is for people who need to know this now. I told you I worked at a rehab. Do not let them do it to you. Please live your life. Protect yourself. Okay? Nick, who been in and out of rehab over 18 times, by the age of 22, co-wrote a movie loosely based on his addiction experience with his father, which I've already told y'all he did. And it talked about, the movie talks about or depicts about the struggles of taking care of him and helping him with his addiction. It is hard, and I understand, because I don't think y'all, like with my son, it's like a blow. When imagine somebody punching you and they keep punching you in the same spot. That spot begins to get really tender. That's what happens to the heart when it's continuously being harmed by someone doing the same thing. They was just taking so many blows. But I digress. This really upsets me. So, and y'all know I don't like to be a Debbie Downer, but we got to talk about it, because I told y'all, if it catches my attention, bing, I'm going to talk about it. And my son, damn sure, right now, my son is getting the care that he needs, because he's gotten to a point where he understands when he's a danger to himself, because I trained mine real. My son took his ass up to the altar and had got himself dipped in the water, because he wanted to save himself, because I told y'all I was raised in a family that believed in God. So even though my son has been fighting demons his whole life, he still went up there to that altar to talk to God. And so I'm not mad at my child. My child is fighting this battle very well. Okay, he's fighting it very well. I just have to learn when to let go, because I know I'm not a superhero. Okay. During interviews promoting Being Charlie, Nick addressed his dark years, and Rob spoke about feeling desperate to help his child during the difficult times. While on a podcast back in 2016, Nick said he thought growing up in the shadow of a famous father and grandfather, Carl Reiner, who passed in 2020, led him to abusing drugs. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. He led him to abusing drugs. Unless somebody came to him when he was a teenager and said, here, take this. No. Nobody don't make your lungs inhale. Nobody don't make your nose sniff. Nobody don't make you do this and shoot it. Nobody do that. You do it to your damn self. So that's not true. I had no identity and I had no passions, he admitted at the time. And I think the reason I had no identity was because I have a famous dad and a famous grandpa. And that fame sort of informs who you are. No. So I wanted to edge out my own identity with a more rebellious, angry, drug-addicted sort of persona. In People's latest cover story, it said the Reiners were a tight-knit family who did everything together. They could never reach stability with Nick. They tried everything, giving him space, keeping him close, but his struggles are so deep. It's a parent's worst nightmare. They were such a lovely people, and they tried their best to help their son. So I want to go back to what he said here. He said he had no identity and he had no passions. He still ain't got none. You can look in the picture and see that. He admitted at the time that he think the reason that he had no identity was because he had a famous dad. That's just like me saying that the reason why I have weight on me is because my mama was chunky. No, hell it ain't. It's the habits that I continue to carry on that I learned that made me battle with weight. Meaning that I learned, you learn what's best for you. So,
Stay tuned
this is
for the Publix.
The story. We
Comments.
have it here. We know what's going on. I'm going to throw God at y'all like a book, because you need to understand what's going on in this world and ask yourself the question, what would cause a child to unalive their parents? And they're defenseless. Okay, he is locked up. He is on suicide watch. So the people are talking, and I'm going to staple at the end of this what they have to say, because we're not dumb as society. No matter what media tries to push at us, we have opinions and they're expressing them. So I'm going to staple at the end of this the comments of the people so you can see for yourself. This was not right. So rest in peace to the Reiner family and the children that are still here, sending y'all healing life. This is Baby.
Thanks for tuning in.